A day before it's set to happen, we're learning Grand Rapids commissioners will get an official request tomorrow to ask voters to extend a temporary income tax in order to fix the area roads. It's a tax you've been paying if you work in the city of Grand Rapids. We told you about the possibility back in February. 24-Hour News 8's Joe LaFurgey's live in Grand Rapids with what it's going to mean for your wallet, Joe.
Now, the report, Brian, will be laid out in a report members of the Sustainable Streets Task Force will present to the City Commission tomorrow. Again, they've been working on it for 15 months now. We were able to get a look at some of the meat and potatoes of that report earlier today before the Commission got it, but you really don't need a couple of pieces of paper to show you just where the problems are in the city. The hole at the corner of Mountain Mercy and Bridge is typical of what drivers in Grand Rapids face every day.
We've had one up here too that's been up there for forever, and you see all the patchwork, but they just don't take care of it.
A task force appointed to figure out just how bad city streets are, what needs to be done to fix them, and how to pay for the fix will ask city commissioners to put a 0.2% income tax increase on the ballot next May to pay for street repair. You're already paying the tax. Remember that increase voters approved in 2010 to help the city transform to a more efficient operation? It was supposed to go away in 2015. Street Task Force members want to extend it to pay for roads until 2030. Like the temporary tax, city voters would cast the ballots. Anyone who works in the city would have to pay.
The city streets have a regional impact, not just on city residents, but the people who live and work here.
You know, I don't mind a few extra bucks, but what are they doing with the rest of the money?
It's a question many voters will be asking. How did the city streets get so bad? A decade ago, the assumption was state funds from the gas tax would continue to fund road work. But the price went up.
Obviously, that never happened. The gas tax hasn't been raised since 1997.
Many of the grants the city used to get have dried up, and there's no money in the general fund to come up with the required matching funds for the grants that didn't go away.
10 years ago, we had 60% of our streets in good or fair condition. Today, 60% of them are in poor condition, and they're only getting worse.
What will this cost you? Well, if the commission does approve putting this on the ballot, and if city voters do approve that tax, someone making $30,000 a year in taxable income would continue to pay about $60 in additional income tax. Now, they've also sweetened the pie in order to try to sell this to voters, at least the task force has, if it gets that far. You know that pesky sidewalk fee that you have to pay every time you have your sidewalk inspected if you're going to, say, sell your house? They plan to make that go away if voters approve this income tax extension. Live in Grand Rapids, Joe LaFurgey, 24-Hour News 8.